Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this education, we would like to discuss about text marking and note taking. Learning objective. Student can analyze and criticize. Number one, why use text marking, how to mark a text, step for marking a text, note taking from reading, outlines, graphic organizer, chart, and double column notes. Text marking. Text marking, often referred simply as underlining, is a term used to express a reader's interaction with the written information as a part of an effective study strategy. Marking the text is the first step in organizing information for studying and learning. Why use text marking? Using a pen to mark text forces the reader to pay attention to the reading. Text marking promotes active learning, making the most of the time you spend on your work. Text marking is an effective strategy because you learn to selectively identify the most important information in the reading. If you learn to use effective text marking strategies, the follow-up strategies of making notes, summarizing, outlining, and mapping, as well as creating study guides will be made much easier. Marking the text is the process of sorting important from unimportant information in a reading. And the sorting, you are learning the information and preparing it for storage in your long-term memory. Effective way in marking text. Number one, you must be able to recognize the pattern of organization of a text. Number two, you must be able to see the relationship between ideas in the passage. Number three, you must be able to pinpoint the main idea and major supporting points that support the most important point. How to mark text? Preview the reading. Read the paragraph or passage in its entirety. Determine the author purpose. Determine the topic of the reading. Determine the pattern of organization. Determine the main idea. Go back and mark the text. After you mark the text, annotate it in the margin or in a separate piece of paper. Suggested techniques for making a text. Circle the concept of or key terms. Underline main ideas only. Enumerate major supporting details in the margin. Use small case alphabetical notation for minor supporting details. After you have marked in the text, you can annotate it. That is, write notes paraphrasing the topic, the main idea, and major and minor supporting details in the margin or separate sheets of paper based on your marking of the text. Some techniques for marking a text. Go on. The SOUL method of taking notes. Why we can call it by SOUL? Because it contains of select, organize, understand, and learn. So the people prefer to use SOUL methods. Selective about choosing the key points. Organize the key points based on the outer structure. And then understand what you are writing by paraphrasing the author's language. And learn, use your study notes to prepare for tests and learn the information. Note taking from reading. Read the text or the passage using all the technique and strategies you have learned so far. Go back and mark the text. Write notes in the margin on separate piece of paper based on your marking of the text. And then rewrite your marginal notation and organize them further to make study notes. Note taking process. Here starting from the read, and then we mark it, we make annotate, and we try to rewrite it. To take good notes, who or what the subject or the topic is, and then how the authors or the speaker is structuring the information on the pattern of organization. What is the most important point about the topic is, and then what ideas serve to support the main idea. Note taking formats. Number one, outline. Number two, maps. Number three, charts. Number four is double columns notes, and then the last is summaries. Using the SOUL method for taking notes. Read effectively using strategies such as turning subheading into subquestion, looking for the answers, and underlining. When taking notes from a reading, we try to selective about choosing the key points and then organize the key points based on the outer structure and then understand what you are writing and learn the information. Outlines. Outlines are useful as a means of organizing information and showing the relationship between ideas. Outlines can also help you in your writing in order to present material in a logical format and define the relationship between the major and the minor supporting details. The most common type of outline is the alphanumeric outline. The alphanumeric outline uses both letters of the alphabet and numbers. Here is the example. Graphic organizer, web, cluster, and maps. The purpose of this type of note-taking is to show the relationship between ideas. For example, in English or writing classes, the term cluster diagram is commonly used as a pre-writing technique. Graphic organizer come in a variety of formats to suit the structural pattern of the text from which you are note-taking. First, decide on the pattern of organization, then determine which type of visual would best suit the structure of the information. Notice how each of these visuals suggests a pattern of organization. The type of graphic organizer. The first is descriptive or thematic map. We can see that the main idea is in the middle, and then there are major support, and then supported also by the minor support. And then number 2 is problem and solution map. Here is the cause, and then the cause make the solution here, and then the cause, there are the influence that influence the cause, and then there is the effects and the solution. Number 3 is problem solution outline. The problem consists of who, what, and why, and then the solution attempt the solution. Solution number 1, number 2 until the end, and the result number 1, number 2, number 3, and the end, and then result. And then the fourth is sequential episodic map. The main idea here, there is the cause, influence, and then the effects. Or the cause, there is the influence here, then the effects, and there is an influence here. And then fishbone map. The cause supporting by details, the cause 2 is supporting by details, and then cause number 3 is supporting by details, and then cause 4 is supporting by details. And then comparative and contrastive map. And then dimension 1, there is a different features, and then dimension 1, there is a simplified feature, and then different feature. Charts and tables are useful to represent text that has two-part structure, like compare contrast, cause and effects, or problem and solution patterns. Charts also work well for a sequential pattern because they usually are arranged in column or rows that allow the reader to see the similarities or differences side by side on the causes that lead to the effects or problems that lead to situation or step in the process. However, charts can be made for the other patterns of organization too. A chart is the same as a table. Yes, in the example, economic causes and effects of World War II, Britain and Germany. You can see that the cause of World War II from the Britain and then the Germany, and then the immediate effect for Britain and Germany, and then long-term effect for Britain and long-term effect of World War II for Germany. Double column notes. To take double column notes, divide your paper into two columns using a rule of markup 1/3 of the page from the left margin. Ignore the red line about 1 inch from the left of the page. Now you have two columns. The columns on the left is narrower than the column on the right. The left-hand column should remain blank during the active note-taking. Later, after you have recorded your notes, go back and write the topic in this left-hand column. The right-hand column is for your notes. Write on one side of the page only, so you have room to write additional information on the reverse of the page if necessary. This method is effective because it allows you to test yourself when you have written the topics in question form in the left-hand column. You can cover up the right-hand column of notes with a spare sheet and paper and test your memory and understanding the information. Then you can uncover your notes and verify your answer. Here's the example. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.